Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Macon-Bibb County Board of Commission pre-commission meeting. Today is Tuesday, December the 16th, 2025, and the time is a little bit later, and it's supposed to be about 4:08. Appreciate everyone being patient today and being here in your place. We apologize for the short delay. We've had some other meetings that we're going back to back on today, and we're getting started here just a few minutes late. We do start our meeting like we always do as far as the pre-commission is concerned, is call into order, and then we'll begin with our approval of the minutes. Commissioners, there is a need probably for a short executive session today. Shouldn't take very long, and as well as celebrating our Christmas time together. So this time we'll go to item 2 on the agenda, which is the approval of the minutes. That's the approval of the minutes from December the 2nd, 2025 pre-commission meeting. Can I get a motion to approve? Motion by Commissioner Bronson, second by Commissioner Bryant. All right, my bad. I got to do something distinguishing over there. All right, we'll say Bronson and Bailey, not Bailey. I'll tell y'all, y'all got me already. Bronson and Bryant, all these B's over here.
Oh, no.
Jesus.
No, he didn't make the motion.
I didn't make a motion? Okay, Jesus didn't do it, sorry, Jesus. All right, we have Stewart and Bailey, no.
Let me just.
Never mind, we know who it is. All right. We do have a motion by Commissioner Stanley Stewart and a second by Ms. Donise Bryant Cato. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. That motion carries. Will be sent to consent agenda. Now we're going to move on to appropriations. We have several of those today. The first one, item A, is an ordinance to the Macon-Bibb County Commission to authorize the appropriation of $50,000 from sponsored programs, line item, to public safety funds to be used for the purchase and installation of audible pedestrian signal devices. We've also had a co-sponsor of Mr. Hewitt, who's not here at the moment, but will be here momentarily, as well as myself. I think everybody will agree that anytime we can do audible pedestrian signal devices, which we're going to start trying to do more often, we choose to do that. So we're going to begin with the $50,000 from sponsor programs to do just that and provide public safety. So this time we'd entertain a motion for approval. Motion by Commissioner Bronson, second by Commissioner Bailey. And I've got questions from Commissioner Bryant. Co-sponsor, I got you. Commissioner Stewart.
Co-sponsor.
Okay, Commissioner Bronson. All right, co-sponsors, everybody wants to sponsor this. Thank you very much. We have motions and seconds and a bunch of co-sponsors, so I'm sure it's going to pass, but we'll take a vote anyway. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. That motion carries unanimously and be sent to the consent agenda. Item B is the ordinance of the Macon-Bibb County Commission to authorize appropriations. These appropriations in the amount of a total of $29,254,596 from the 2025 SPOS bond for the following purposes: to the jail expansion and upgrade project, to the arena project, to the recreation projects, and industrial authority and urban development authority. Keep in mind, we did a bond not too long ago allocating certain budgets for the future, and now we'll start appropriating some of those monies as these bills become due, and that's what this figure comes to. We also have Mr. Hewitt, who wants to be a co-sponsor, and myself. So at this time, we entertain a motion for approval.
So moved.
Motion by Mayor Pro Tem Clark, second by somebody on this side, Commissioner Wilder. Got Wilder. Okay, Commissioner Bronson, do you have a question, sir?
Hey, just out of curiosity, I know we said a lot of projects, right? I'm all for this. I just want to make sure that we are we able to have an itemized, kind of a detailed scroll as far as what's going to which project, so we'll know.
I think it's contained in the document. It wasn't mine.
Okay.
So if you look at the documents, you should receive the itemization of what that is. But we'll always do that. Eventually we'll do a timeline what we did. They did the last SPOS, but these are items we went ahead and approved because we need to act very expeditious in the jail and other things. So we wanted to go ahead and get that done, and we did that bond that we'll begin to pay interest on. So we do have motions and seconds. Commissioner Bailey, did you have a question?
I'd like to be added to this initiative, Mayor.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much. We have a motion and second. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed, nay. That motion carries and will be sent to consent agenda. Item C is the ordinance of the Macon-Bibb County Commission to amend the 2025 general fund budget to $242,375.11 in total revenues and $242,375.11 in total expenditures for the year-end adjustments, which is what we do every year to balance our budget. So at this time, we'd entertain a motion to approve. Motion by Commissioner Wynn. Do we have a second? Second by Commissioner Bronson. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed, nay. That motion carries and will be sent to consent agenda. Item D is the ordinance of the Macon-Bibb County Commission to approve a supplemental appropriation for the transfer of $62,252.626. Is that right? No. $62,252,626 from the fund balances of multiple funds in the 2026 budget to account for outstanding purchasing orders. As you recall, we do a lot of appropriations in one year, and a lot of times, by the time you pay for those, go through the procurement process, get the bills in, pay for them, ends up in another fiscal year. This is simply moving that forward to this year in that amount. So at this time, we entertain a motion to approve item D. Motion by Mayor Pro Tem Clark, second by Commissioner Bailey. Any questions? Hearing no questions, all those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed, nay. That motion carries and will be sent to the consent agenda. Item E is the ordinance of the Macon-Bibb County Commission to authorize a supplemental appropriation in amount of $82,934 from the general fund to the GDOT Old Heritage Trail grant fund line item to provide funding for additional engineering services for the Old Heritage Trail project, authorizing the mayor to execute a change order with Cranston Engineering Group for additional engineering services in the amount of $139,750. This time, I entertain a motion to approve. Motion by Commissioner Bailey. You have a second? Second by Commissioner Howell. You got a motion and a second. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed, nay. That motion carries and will be sent to consent agenda. Item F is a resolution of the Macon-Bibb County Commission authorizing the mayor to execute an agreement with Stafford Builders and Consultants for the renovation of Thomas Jackson Juvenile Justice Center Courtroom Number 3 in the amount of $202,075 to be paid from the 2018 SPOS Fund Judicial Justice Property Line Item out of the 2018 SPOS Fund. At this time, Commissioner Bryant, you have a question?
Is there someone here that can tell me what kind of renovations that they're doing to courtroom 3?
Dr. Moffitt can do that.
Currently at the Juvenile Justice Center, we have what we've been calling the third courtroom. We go into the building, it's the courtroom all the way to the right. We're going to be finishing that courtroom. But they've asked to make it not just a courtroom, but a multi-purpose room. So it'll have the technology that can easily switch it between a multi-purpose room for classrooms where they can do trainings with parents and things I believe they asked for, and it can easily switch back to a courtroom.
Thank you, Dr. Moffitt. And of course, that's previously been approved in the 2018 SPOS, and this is just appropriations of those funds and to award the contract to Stafford Builders. So this time we entertain a motion to approve. Got a motion by Commissioner Wynn. Do we have a second? Second, Commissioner Bryant. Have a motion and a second. You want to be the first? All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed, nay. That motion carries. I've got my readers on. Of course, they look really good in this paper, but when I look at you, I really can't see as far. So that motion passes to be sent to consent agenda. Item 4 is agreements and contracts. We got several of those items as well tonight, A through H. So we'll go through those one by one. Item 4A is a resolution of Macon-Bibb County Commission authorizing the mayor to execute a construction manager at risk with Warren Associates for the renovation of the Bibb County Courthouse, subject to further approval and finalization of cost of construction for a pre-construction cost of $7,500 and construction management fee of 2.45%, the total cost of the construction. As you remember, in the 2018 SPOS, there were several improvements that need to be made from the courthouse. Most of all those improvements have been done with the exceptions of some final items, and we have put that out for a bid. The committee has been reviewing those bids to come back with input from all the judges and those departments in the courthouse and come up with a plan for that. And during that particular process, Warren Associates was selected as the CMAR at risk on that. So this is what we're doing now. We're trying to finally close out that project so we can close out the funds in the 2018 forward and move everything forward on that. So this time we'd entertain a motion to approve. Motion by Commissioner Wilder. We have a second. Second by Commissioner Bronson. We have a motion and a second. No further discussion. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed, nay. That motion carries and will be sent to consent agenda. Item B is a resolution of the Macon-Bibb County Commission authorizing the mayor to execute a professional services agreement with BTBB for the provision of architectural services for the renovation of the Bibb County Courthouse in the amount of 0.6% of the total cost of construction to be determined at a later date, plus $12,000 for digital mapping services to be paid from the 2008 SPOS fund. This, of course, is associated with item A that we just got through. This is for architectural services. We don't know the exact price of that. We'll bring that before this commission again before finalizing that, but the amount is going to be 6% of that total price. Commissioner Bryant?
What's the company BTBB?
The company BTB, yes, I think it's in the materials there. What's that? Yeah, it's Bob Brown, but Brenton, that's it.
That's just the architect.
Yeah. It's a local company we have utilized before, and they're the ones who did that. I think it's contained in the materials, but I could be mistaken. But that's a local contractor. So we do need to have a motion to approve. Can I get a motion to approve? All right. Everybody wake up over there. Commissioner Howell, second by Mayor Pro Tem Clark. Any questions? Looking at y'all over there since y'all were talking. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. That motion carries unanimously to be sent to consent agenda. Item C is a resolution of the Macon-Bibb County Commission to approve a change order in the amount of $16,000 through the purchase order for Smith Law and Consulting Group to provide for attorney counseling services for the next 3 months to be paid from the general fund. This is contract labor for the district attorney within her budget, but since it's a professional services agreement, it has to be approved by this body. So this time we entertain a motion to approve. Motion by Commissioner Wynn. Do we have a second? It almost died. You better tell her she owes you. Got a second by Commissioner Bronson. Do you have a question as well, Commissioner Bronson?
Hey, just out of curiosity, what's the start date on this one?
Excuse me?
What's the start date for it?
As she needs it. When she has additional consultants that she brings on for specific items that she prosecutes, then she will recommend the particular company she wants to use or the attorney or the firm that she wants to use, and they'll submit those bills on there, but we have to approve the amount in her budget prior to doing that.
And just
So I assume it's going to be right now for the next 3 months, beginning in January, but that'd be up to her.
Is this going to be a kind of a reoccurring thing every
It
3
is a
months?
reoccurring thing. She comes before us several times for this same process, but because the totality of the price reaches a certain threshold, even though it's below that amount right now, but when you add all those together, it reaches a certain threshold, it's required to come back before Commission. Thank you. Commissioner Bryant, you have a question?
Yes, you explained some of it, but I was asking, why does she need help, or why does she need extra money?
You'd have to ask her that, but it's for consultant. These are consultants that she uses on various types of cases that she may have come before her office. It is in her budget, and of course, she has to make that request, but like I mentioned earlier, because even though this amount would typically be lower than the amount that's required in her budget, but because she does this multiple times a year, perhaps the total amount reaches above her amount, so it has to come before you as well. So this would be someone that has a particular expertise in something, not somebody that just be working in her office. So it's not necessarily a staffing issue related to that. We have a motion second? We do have a motion and second. Any other questions? We have a motion and second. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed, nay. That motion carries and will be sent to consent agenda. Item D is a resolution of the Macon-Bibb County Commission authorizing the mayor to execute an agreement with PayScale, Inc. in an amount of $56,499, provision of human resources consultant services payable from the general fund, human resources, repairs and maintenance line item. So this is the monies is already in the budget for the human resources. It's going to allow them to update a lot of the job descriptions, look at the pay for various positions and jobs, and come back with a report for us on that. Commissioner Bronson.
Hey, just out of curiosity, I know there's been kind of a conversation, and I may be behind a power curve on this one. Pay scale wise, is this going to go into the study as far as pay scales for our police and fire, or is that just
That's separate. That's separate. That's an entirely different ballpark. There's been mention of pay scales over and over and over again for 20 years. The question is whether or not you're going to be able to afford a pay scale.
Roger?
And certainly that leaves a lot to debate. This right here is to do exactly like we said, is to look at all the positions that we have, to compare those with what people are making in different areas, but also, more importantly, since we have more people doing different types of jobs, we need to update the job descriptions for the particular jobs as we add new items to our organizational charts or bring new people in there.
Is it possible for us to kind of, I guess, try to align and merge that conversation of the pay scale along with this? That way, at least come next year, we can probably bring that back to the table. I think it's important that we at least make that attempt again in this administration. We have a good opportunity to make that happen. And I just want to make sure we're doing what we need to do for our fire and police and EMT services across the board, as well as city employees that are watching. So I want to make sure we have that part of the discussion as we move forward.
Yeah, we can always look at that, and we can look at that budget time anytime you want to, but unless you plan on raising the tax rate by a substantial amount, that's a conversation for a later day. But I think we'll take this report, review that. It's probably going to contain some of the information that you're requesting in there.
Good catch.
And if it's not, we'll see about appropriating additional funds on there. But this thing's been studied to death. I don't think it's the study is the problem, it's the amount of money that you would have to spend to get to a point that you want to be at. So
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
We'll look and see what's in there. I'm happy to do that. And once the report comes back in, if it doesn't contain what y'all want it to do, certainly you can bring forth the motion to look at yet another pay scale and see what the costs are.
Cool beans. Thanks, sir.
We have a motion? Okay, I didn't need a motion to approve. Okay, a motion by Commissioner Bronson. We have a second? Second by Commissioner Bryant? That's a no or yes? Yes, okay. Got a motion and a second. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed, nay. That motion carries. Got a lot of conversation now. Item E, a resolution of the Macon-Bibb County Commissioner authorizing the mayor to execute a construction manager at risk with Warren Associates for the expansion and upgrade of the law enforcement center, subject to further approval upon finalization of cost construction, for a pre-construction cost of $17,500 and construction management of 1.74% of the cost of construction. Of course, we brought this before you about a month or so ago with some diagrams and expansion of the current footprint, including removing of the Higgins building where the current parking is there, just outside and inside the fence there, and redoing the interior by the mental health and the infirmary rooms and all that, et cetera. And some price estimates are coming in there. This is for the awarding a contract to Warren Associates, who have built many of these jails and who was selected by the committee that is doing the jail, including representatives from the Sheriff's Department. And that price will come back, and we gave you an estimated range last time around $24 million. But we won't have the cost on that. That'll come back before you. But this is to do the preliminary on that. So at this time, we'll take any questions you have. Commissioner Stewart?
Mr. Mayor, are we still looking at the pods so that, for future expansion or relocation? Are we still looking at pods?
Yes, so they're looking at the prefab steel and concrete units. It's to be determined which one is going to meet our needs the best on being able to reuse those, but also getting them in a timely manner, the cost and expense, and the property that we have. So both the steel and the concrete prefabs are what we're looking at right now. Okay. Commissioner Bryant?
This is not for building the jail. This is what part did you say?
It will be for building the jail. This is a contract to put down the down payment for a percentage. We'll get the final pricings once they do all the estimates and everything to do. You have the architectural, and then you have your CMAR, which is the construction manager at risk, to come back. We expect those costs to be somewhere in the $24 million range as we previously presented to commission.
We couldn't find nobody else to build the jail.
Couldn't find anybody else. Well, we found the most qualified person that the sheriff selected once it came in. But I mean, there were multiple people who put in for it. It went through a committee, and this person was the award winner.
They're gonna hate me for this, but I worked at the jail, and the structure that was built was not good. Yeah. So if they're trying to build something else, I don't know. We need to find somebody else.
Okay, I hear your opinion.
Mr. Mayor, let me ask you this too.
I told him just say, Commissioner Wynn?
What exactly is a pre-construction cost? What's involved in that?
We'll have one of our attorneys talk about that. Although I am an attorney, I don't get paid to play one right here, but I'm trying to answer your questions as much as I can.
Good afternoon, Commissioner Wynn. Pre-construction costs are the cost of getting the contractor on site in the building looking at everything, doing measurements, and getting ready for finalizing the price of construction. So it's all the work they do until we get a final price on that construction.
We haven't done that already? Not at all?
Not this. You have to select the person that's going to do it first. What we did is estimates and architect to allow us to determine what the architects thought may be a good design, encompassing everything that the sheriff wanted, the River Edge wanted, that we wanted in the process. And they come up with an architectural design, giving some very rough estimates on what it's going to cost. What this does is select actually a qualified contractor that will then begin the pre-construction process to get how much the steel cells is going to cost, how much electrical is going to cost, how much the plumbing is going to cost, how much the demolition is going to cost, to give us a more accurate price. Their price that they get paid is based on a percentage. Therefore, we don't know the price that Warren Associates will get paid until we know how much the total process is going to be, just like we did in the arena, just like we would do like in the convention, these other projects that we do from time to time. So we just know a
So they're
ballpark
looking
estimate.
at what needs to be done, and then we'll have an estimate of everything.
They're pricing out some of the designs and some of the number of beds and the items that we wanted in there, so they can get, the architect can come up with a final drawing. So then we know the construction cost that'll come back before you for a total price at that time. This is just a preliminary information, just like we did the arena already, to come back with some estimates on what we need to do to kind of come up with initial drawings in the build.
Thank you both.
Thank you. Commissioner Bryant?
I still have a question for you.
Ms. Day? No problem.
You explained most of it. So this is just for them to go in, see what needs to be done, and then they're gonna contract it out someone else?
No, Warren Associates will be the person that's selected to do contract and the build of this new addition. This is to allow them to do the pre-construction cost to determine what the total renovation is going to cost and the addition is going to cost us. Therefore, we have a total price in mind that we can bring back to the commission and say, after going through all the phases there on what the sheriff want and all the items going to be included, it's going to cost this much money. Therefore, there will be that much money we'll need to appropriate, because we don't know how much to appropriate for the jail expansion until we get that figure in. Then once we appropriate that, it'll go through our normal process where they submit draws, get inspected, and they'll get the money out until the process is built. And we're trying to have this thing completed once we finalize all this in 14 months. But like I said, the committee consists of Cass Hatcher, Clay Murphy from our SPOS committee, and Deputy Chief, I guess it's in Scarborough, in communication with the sheriff on selecting this. This is the person that, based on all the qualifications in the rubric, not only was the best price, but also the top graded vendor.
Okay, and this is nothing against you because you've never worked in the jail. But
I never what, a jail?
you've never worked in the jail?
Oh.
I don't know if you've been in jail, but I know you've never worked
I've been
in
in
the
jail plenty of times, not as a participant, but as a lawyer.
So I just thought that when they showed us that they were bringing in prefabricated modules and things, I thought it was gonna come from another company at that time. So now I'm seeing that it's coming from the same person. I have nothing against Warren Selby. I just know that when they put all that money into the jail, the locks were torn up, the structures that were built, they didn't last. I know they have a committee, but it seems like some of the deputies that work down at the jail should have been in on this so that they can kind of say what needs to be done, because it's not working, and to keep putting money into the same thing, it's just like putting a Band-Aid over a gunshot wound.
These are not sales that Warren Selby builds. These are sales that are purchased from a third party that does this only for a living for every jail in the state of Georgia. So they're certainly qualified. As far as who can install that, they were the top rated company. I'm not an expert in building myself, and certainly I don't know that a deputy is expert in building quality. They work there and know how things are supposed to work. But it is what it is. I mean, we went through the committee. This is the process that we have. They're the most qualified. And the sheriff, the chief constitutional officer of our county, is in agreement with this, as well as his staff. And we're ready to move forward to it. Of course, the commission can decide otherwise.
I get it. I get it. I just like for the safety of the deputies to be at hand.
That's right. And we intend on that to happen, and I think it will happen, because, and also this particular vendor, although he's a local person familiar to us, has done many jails across the state of Georgia. And that was part of his references. So I was not on that committee. I did not make the selection, but I have looked at the results of that. So, any other questions?
I do, just have one.
Commissioner Stewart and then Commissioner Wynn.
Yes, sir. Thank the world of Warren, thank the world of Mr. Selby, got it started in East Macon. But I do have to ask this question, and making sure that we protect our flanks and it's not a conflict of interest. We're talking about building a jail, and Warren works with Crime Stoppers, which works directly with the Sheriff's Department. So is that a conflict of interest?
I can't imagine any, in any realm that that's a conflict. I don't.
It's not a legal or ethical conflict. I mean, if he went through and you can speak to the process, why don't you tell him the process by which he was chosen, so we can know that.
Thank you. This went out for public bid. There were more than 5, I believe there were 6 different bidders. And then the ultimate winner was selected both based on their proposal and based on cost. And so they were a low cost by a large margin, but also had the best proposal according to our committee.
I understand it was a closed bid. I understand the cost analysis and everything, but I'm asking, and nothing against Warren, but I'm just saying for anybody, for that matter, this is a person who works for Crime Stoppers, who works directly with the Sheriff's Department, who's building a jail. I mean, I was put in the paper for selling cherry blossom trees even before I was a commissioner for my friend's organization, long before I was a commissioner, and they tried to make that a conflict of interest. So I would think, obtaining millions of dollars from an organization that you work with is somewhat a conflict of interest.
Yeah, we can just disagree. Just like you,
Yeah.
you're stating in your place that you had no conflict, right? But people can write anything they want to, and papers do it all the time. Doesn't make it a conflict.
Okay, all right.
You know, if it's a legal conflict, we wouldn't be bringing it before this body of government for a public vote.
All right. But duly noted, please.
Yes,
Yeah, and that's a good question, but there's no legal or ethical provision that I'm aware of that would make that a conflict. So y'all can, good question.
Okay.
okay. Any other questions? Commissioner Wayne, do you have a question?
Yeah, when Commissioner Bryant was asking about this, I mean, when we go in and build a new expansion, it's going to be a lot different from what it was years ago that's in there now. I'm sure that they're looking at the new things that will work better than what we've had. I'm assuming that's what they'll do when they look at it.
Well, we make assumptions, but I think whatever technology you have at the time, but, people in jail sometimes are very creative and they have very unique ways of damaging items, and no matter what technology you put in there, no matter what new lock you put in there, they're going to find a way to damage those. I was not there at the jail in 1971 as a participant, as a citizen, or as an attorney. So I don't know what happened when they built the jail. I know that 6 people applied for this job. This one was deemed the most qualified by the people we call experts to run our jail, by the person who got elected by 70-something% of the people in this community, and by a mental health expert at River Edge that does a lot of work in our community, and I'm just having to trust their judgment because I'm not in the business of building jails myself.
Well, that's what I'm saying. This jail's old, and there's a better way to build a mousetrap now.
Right.
Surely we're looking at that. So,
And Commissioner Brown, I'll go with you one more time before we take this vote.
Ms. Wynn, 3 years ago is not 1971. I'm talking about something they did 21, 22, 23. So if you were here then and y'all passed the money for that, that's what I'm talking about. That, not the old building that's been there since 1950-something. I'm talking about.
I think you're talking about the locks.
I'm talking about the structure. I'm talking about when they went in and did the toilets. I'm talking about when they went in and redid the sinks, the cells, the chains, the mechanical part. I'm talking about all of it. So unless they've updated their information and technology, then I think it's still putting the same thing in there. Unless we get some different criminals. I don't know.
Okay. Any other questions? We do need a motion to approve. Motion by Commissioner Wilder. We have a second. Second by Commissioner Bailey. Thank you. We have a motion and second. Did you want to be a sponsor, Ms. Bailey? Okay, we'll have you on there. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed, nay.
Nay.
Okay, that's nay on Stewart and Bryant. All right, duly noted. We'll go and move on to item F, which is a resolution of Macon-Bibb County Commission authorizing the mayor to execute an agreement with Stafford Builders and Consultants for installations and repairs to softball field number 7 in Carolyn Creighton Park. Did I skip something? In amount of $665,668 to be paid from the 2008 SPOS Fund Recreation Carolyn Creighton Park. Commissioner Bronson, do you have a question, sir?
Hey, sir, I just want to, well, first and foremost, want to make sure that it's notated that I put nay for that last vote. On the next 3 votes, I want to make sure that I'm added as a co-sponsor as well for this one.
I've got you for F, G, and H, sir.
You my man.
Yes,
A lot of work has been going on in that particular area, and I'm happy to see that we have development taking place here. Some of the much-needed items that we're voting on next to also improve the areas for downtown as well and throughout District 2. So definitely put me down for that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Commissioner Wynn?
Answered all three of those two.
That is spot. All right. Nice and Carolyn Creighton Park love over there. Commissioner Bell, you want to be added to the same?
Yes.
Whose district is that in?
It's
I'll
his.
take that as a motion from Commissioner Bronson. Do we have a second? Second from Commissioner Wynn. Any other questions? Hear no questions. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. That motion carries and will be sent to consent agenda. Item G is a resolution of the Macon-Bibb County Commission authorizing the mayor to execute an agreement with Middle Georgia Outdoor Lighting for the purchase and installation of lighting equipment at Carolyn Creighton Park. This is the amount of $295,264 that previously approved in the 2018 SPLOST Recreation CCP property line item. At this time, we'd entertain a motion to approve. Motion by Commissioner Bronson. We have a second. Second by Commissioner Wynn. She beat y'all again over there. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. That motion carries and be sent to consent agenda. Item H is a resolution of Macon-Bibb County Commission authorizing the mayor to enter into a professional services agreement with Hodges, Harbin, Newberry, Tribble in the amount of $82,895 for the provision of engineering design services for sidewalk improvements along 3rd Street between Walnut Street and Plum Street, payable to 2025 SPLOST funds, roadwork, other property. At this time, I entertain a motion to approve. Motion by Commissioner Bronson. We have a second. Second by Commissioner Wynn. That's your district, Commissioner Bronson? Yes, sir. All right, we have a motion and a second. Any further questions? Hear no further questions. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. That motion carries unanimously. Be sent to consent agenda. We're going to move on to grants, and we have items A through F before we go into executive session. Item A is a resolution of Macon-Bibb County Commission authorizing the acceptance of Macon-Bibb Law Enforcement Foundation grant in amount of $40,635 with no local match required, awarded to the Bibb County Sheriff's Office to purchase equipment for patrol deputies. Commissioner Hewitt asked to sponsor that item as well. You should have all the information contained in your package, but if you need additional information on what items to be purchased, I can have our attorneys come down and tell you that. Commissioner Bryant?
Co-sponsor.
Co-sponsor, all right, got you there. All right, this time we entertain a motion to approve. A motion by Commissioner Bryant, second by Commissioner Stewart. Is that right? Was you again? If you just say curious or something, out of curiosity, I probably know it was you. All right, we'll take you over there, Bronson. We got Brian and Bronson, the B&B twins over here. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed, nay. That motion carries unanimously to be sent to consent agenda. Item B is a resolution of the Macon-Bibb County Commission authorizing the acceptance of the Judicial Council of Georgia American Rescue Plan Act for calendar year 2026. This is not our rescue money, it's their rescue money, in an amount of $87,205 with no local match, awarded to the Macon Judicial Circuit. Everybody got all that? Who's going to speak on that? Is it you, Sarah, or someone else? Okay. Give a little bit more information just so they know what we're getting with that money.
Yes, this is a state grant from their ARPA funds. This is going to pay for our senior judges to help in catch up on some of the backlog of cases, and it's only covering like a 4 to 6 month period, so it's not a long time, but it will cover a couple senior judges and some staff.
Thank you for that. So basically, we have an attempt to decrease the caseload and have requested some additional funds, and the state's going to use some of their ARPA money to allow the senior judges that are retired but still able to practice in Bibb County to kind of help lighten that load to accept certain cases. And this $87,205 should get us multiple senior judges for 3 to 6 months, basically. So at this time, we'd entertain a motion to approve. Motion by Commissioner Wynn. Do we have a
Add
second?
it as a co-sponsor, please.
Gotcha. And we have a second? Second by Mayor Pro Tem Clark. We have a motion and second. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. That motion carries and will be sent to consent agenda. Item C is a resolution of Macon-Bibb County Commission authorizing the mayor to execute an agreement with Macon-Bibb EOC granting home investment partnerships program American Rescue Plan funding an amount of $150,000 to implement a homeless prevention program. Ms. Jackson, you here tonight? Thank you. If you don't mind coming forward, or whoever can give some brief information on that. We know it's someone else's money that's given to us as a pass-through grant for $150,000 for homeless prevention, but if you can provide any other details, that'd be wonderful. And also, before you speak, if you just identify yourself for the people at home.
Yes, I'm Wenzina Jackson, Director of Macon-Bibb County Economic and Community Development Department. With these funds, these are funds that were provided through the Department of Housing and Urban Development. These are special funds that were provided as a part of the American Rescue Program. These are funds that are to be utilized for either housing development or supportive services for those qualifying populations. With those qualifying populations is those individuals that are in jeopardy of becoming homeless or already homeless, fleeing domestic violence, or fall within the homeless population with regards to veterans and families. With this particular one that we have here, this is for homeless prevention, and these are funds that will be utilized by Macon-Bibb EOC that will help as far as the homeless prevention portion as far as rental assistance as well as utility assistance.
Thank you, Ms. Jackson. Do we have any questions? Commissioner Wynn?
Ms. Jackson, how are you doing?
Just fine.
You know, I always have to ask you a question. How do you assess who's going to get this funding out of this?
So it's actually an application process, and there's a process with Macon-Bibb EOC with regards to applying for these funds. So there are qualifiers wherein that they must meet the qualifications that are outlined by the Department of Housing and Urban Development as far as truly falling within the process of being evicted, as well as some other qualifying factors.
I suspect Carlton would know that too, right? Okay. All right, thank you.
Just want to be added as a co-sponsor too, Mr. Mayor. Ms. Jackson, thank you for what you and your team do. Thank you.
Appreciate that. We have a motion second? No, we don't. All right, at this time, I entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Can I get a second? Okay, Commissioner Court, Mayor Pro Tem Court.
Yeah, was this a new grant application? How, is this a recurring grant application that we apply
No,
for?
these are actually special funds that were awarded to Macon-Bibb County. So this is not a new process and everything. These are funds that that we've had with regards to this particular funding source.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. That motion carries to be sent to consent agenda. Similar item on item D is a resolution of Macon-Bibb County Commission authorize the mayor to execute an agreement with Family Advancement Ministries, granting a home investment partnership program American Rescue Plan funding in an amount of $205,008 to implement a homeless prevention program. And Ms. Jackson, same information.
Yes, this is actually the same funding source. We also have Family Advancement Ministries that provide services as well with regards to individuals that fall within the category of in the process of being evicted. They will also be providing rental assistance as well as utility assistance.
So same process procedure, just split the money up between these two groups as they
Yes.
apply? Okay. Commissioner Bryant, do you have a question?
Yes, I've heard Ms. Wynn mention it sometimes. Is there one place that if I was homeless that I could call and y'all hook me up to the resources that I need? If I was a homeless person and I didn't know who to call because I see so many different people doing some of the same things, can I call a number and say, hey, I'm homeless or my rent needs paying? Do we have a number like that?
So there are several different agencies that actually provide services. The primary agency with regards to coordinated entry is Macon-Bibb EOC as far as doing assessments. We have other agencies that don't receive federal funds that also provide services for homeless individuals as well. You also have funding that's provided through the state. We also have a resource guide that is provided at the different areas such as the Rescue Mission, the Salvation Army, as well as Daybreak with regards to that information as well.
Mayor Pro Tem Court.
So this is coming from the same drawdown source. Are we having to use this money for any patching up of other sources, other federal funds that we've lost with the cuts that HUD's faced?
Not from our understanding.
Okay.
We're actually looking at the resources as far as the services that we need for our community. We have a large need that we are consistently trying to provide services for.
Great, thank you.
All right, Commissioner Bailey and then Commissioner Wynn.
Yes. Ms. Jackson, I was actually on your website this evening looking at the EOC website under Macon-Bibb. On that website, there is a residential link there that does provide that particular number. And I did call that number, and then it referred me over into the Macon Housing Authority. Once I've done that, I called the Macon Housing Authority, and it stated that each particular agency had their own application process. Presently, at this particular time, all of the other agencies were on a waiting list except for one agency, and that was Pendleton Homes. Can you tell me how does the funding you're receiving today, is that going to open up those other agencies so that they can accept clients now? Presently, we have a large number of people that are looking for housing and for housing assistance. I even got in there myself today, helping different individuals, and I would like to, give them some information to take back with them.
So for these particular funds, it's actually homeless prevention is trying to help them to stay in where they're currently housed. So these are not funds to actually provide new housing. It's for those individuals that are in the process of being evicted.
Okay, and I was told as well is that the vouchers that were supposed to be given out at the end of the year that we were praying for has been cut 75%. And with that cut, there's individuals also that, in danger of being displaced as well because of that particular cut and us not receiving those particular fundings. So thank you. Thank you once again for all that you do. And that website is EOC and it's feasible. I've already called all the numbers. So thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Bailey. Commissioner Wynn?
Yeah, I think I want to go back to Commissioner Bryant. She and I agree about this, that I didn't really get a phone number. As she says, you call so many places, and you just attested to this, Ms. Bailey, that you called, and you called another number, and you called another number. What we'd like to see, what I'd like to see, I'll speak for myself, is one place that they can go and find help for any of these things that they're needing, whether it be home, looking for a job, needing help with food, housing, whatever, but there needs to be one place. We've got so many places out there that have funds to help, and that's great, but it's difficult to find the right place. And if you don't have a computer, if you're almost homeless, you don't have a computer. You don't have the internet. So where do you go to find all this? I mean, you might can find the Rescue Mission Office or the Salvation Army. Shouldn't we have a number, a general one number that these people can go to call and get those answers, get help that way? And I think Commissioner Bryan, is that kind of what you were looking at too?
So there are a lot of different resources that are available.
We have a resource guide. We have a resource guide that we'll make sure each and every one of you get, that Dr. Ficklin can send you, that contains all the information. The problem is it's not cookie cutter. You can't just call one number because everyone has a different situation. Someone that's going to be maybe can't pay the light bill, or maybe they're getting evicted, may go one place. You have someone that's maybe on the bridge and experiencing homelessness in another situation. You have somebody that's waiting on a housing voucher and needs to go with Mike Austin with Macon Housing Authority. Multiple things, but there are hotlines. Of course, you have the One Safe Place that are doing multiple things as well, but it's not cookie cutter, unfortunately. But you will be able to use this resource guide, and it's posted everywhere. You can always call Brookdale Resource Center, and they will send you directly to where they're at if it's during the daytime, up into a certain period of time. So you've got various departments there, but I think by starters, we'll revisit this, but I think for starters, I'll have them send you the resource guide because it has all the information contained that anyone can find any services. Bibb County doesn't have a lack of services, that's for sure, which is why we have a lot of folks in that situation, perhaps, that are here. Commissioner Wynn?
Appreciate it. I've seen that list.
Okay.
I appreciate that very much. You said the word Brookdale Resource Center. That's the one that should be called, and that's the one should have a lot of information for people. It'd be one center for them to go to get help. I'm not going to say any more.
They do. I mean, Brookdale does, but like I said, they don't do everything, right? If you're a sex offender in Macon-Bibb County, you cannot go to Brookdale, right? If you're on a HUD waiting list, you can get into Brookdale, but they can't determine your place. If you lack certain food insecurity, they can tell you where you can go to, but you're going to get another phone call just like you're going to get. The person answering the phone is not going to be able to meet all your needs. Problem sometimes people will get upset with, and of course they call my office as well, is that when you send them to another agency, they think you're supposed to be doing it, and sometimes we don't have that responsibility or capacity to do that. We try to refer them to a place where they can get the help that they need. But certainly, but I do think that some people may not have that resource guide that you were talking about, Ms. Nguyen. I think it'd be helpful that they have that to kind of fast track some of this. But unfortunately, there's not a one-stop shop that you can call one number and meet every need you want to. And I don't know that it exists hardly anywhere. Commissioner Stewart, I'm going to go to you.
I was just trying to go off the top of my head to try to help the conversation a little bit, but is it 211 with Pastor Holmes, Horace Holmes? Is that United Way or what?
So you're referring to United Way?
Yeah.
And that is information that's provided with United Way.
Yeah.
We also have a coordinated entry process with Macon-Bibb EOC that we've talked about as well tonight, that it leads you to other federal funds that are also available. It's a referral system.
Thank you. Commissioner Bryant, back with you.
So on, wait a minute, let me see what I wrote down. I ain't got my glasses on. Oh, hold on. Okay, so the question that I have is, Ms. Nguyen tried to explain it, and basically, I was just saying, if EOC runs out of money, and he just said something about the resource list, do they have a list where they can say, okay, we're out of money, but your rent need paying. Here's a number I can give you. It's to the Brookdale Resource Center or the Salvation Army. They help with rent also. If I need clothes, no, you can call, or a pregnant mom. Here's a list I have that we don't help with that, but you can call Mother's Nest. Do we have something like that? And I think, is that what you're saying? That
That's
we
the
have?
resource guide, yes, ma'am.
Okay, I need a copy.
It's very voluminous, and I'll be happy to, we'll get Dr. Ficklin to send you a copy of that. It's an electronic form as well. And we do that. That's one of the things when we go into encampments, a lot of times, we'll take the resource guide with us to let people know, here are places that you have an opportunity if you need a place to sleep, if you need to take showers, if you need food, if you've got benefits you need to start back, if you're experiencing home, all these tips, if you mental health treatment, all those things are on there. It's a pretty cumulous list, so we can make sure all of you get that. I appreciate that. And Ms. Jackson, I know you didn't sign up for all that tonight, trying to pass through some grant money funds, but you got one more question, Ms. Nguyen?
Dead horse, I want to thank Ms. Jackson for all you do, okay? I don't mean to belabor this issue, but I really do care about us getting it taken care of the right way. But thank you for all you do.
Thank you. We do need a motion to approve. Motion by Commissioner Bronson. All right, second by Commissioner Bryant. Well, I'll give you more there. All right, we got a motion and a second. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. That motion carries unanimously. Be sent to consent agenda. Item E, resolution of Macon-Bibb County Commission to authorize the mayor to execute an independent contractor agreement with Pleasant Hill Landing, LP, for the construction of multifamily housing at 151 Madison Street in an amount of $1.4 million to be paid from the 2025 home funds and the community development block grant funds. Mr. Austin, since you're here and been patiently waiting, I'll have you and your team or whoever wants to speak on this. I think most everyone on this commission is very well familiar with the project that we're doing up there on Walnut and corner of Monroe there, called Pleasant Hill Landing for right now. But if you can tell us a little bit more about this home fund and, you know, just pretty much a financial stat to get that project complete, we'll appreciate it.
Thank you, Mayor. Good afternoon, Commissioners. Glad to be here. Yes, very exciting project that we're about ready to start probably early in 2026. This grant money will help us finish, as the Mayor referred to, our capital stack. Anytime you do a tax credit, you're up against lots of sources of money to put that together. Here, we're probably talking about $21 million worth of investment in Pleasant Hill. This will be our third site in Pleasant Hill. And it's just a wonderful project, and we're real excited about it. Glad to answer any questions. We're excited about this. We appreciate it. Kathleen, if you want to add any details, please do.
Yes, and I believe we have a rendition that we can show you all today of what it's going to look like. There it is. But just as a quick reminder, Pleasant Hill Landing is going to be a brand-new development of 64 units, so serving 64 families. It is income restricted, as most of our developments are, so your income is going to be ranging from $16,000 all the way up to $61,000 for a family of 4. So we have a broad range of income there. The development is going to cost over $21 million, and it didn't start off that way. When we got awarded the tax credits in 2024, and by the time we gone through developing the plans and getting it priced, we were lo and behold over budget. So the money we are receiving today, or hopefully receiving today, is going to be much appreciated to closing that gap and allowing us to move forward with hopefully starting construction in the next couple of months.
We'll have Mayor Pro Tem Clark.
Yeah, this is fantastic. I'd like to be added as a co-sponsor. And I'd also, were we able to save the two, I know that a lot of the stuff, we tore down some, but there were two other out parcels or buildings. Or were we able to structurally save those for community use?
So I'll speak to that,
Sure.
and I can go ahead and do that if you like.
Yeah, that'd be great.
If you could put that last picture back up there if you don't mind, just for a point of reference. You'll see those two buildings on the bottom right. The first building being at the corner of Monroe and Walnut there, which houses church and part of the school. Certainly the hopes there is to maintain that as long as it doesn't continue to get vandalized or theft there, to maintain that and look at a potential business there as well as a food co-op. The building right behind it, directly behind it, would be a gymnasium that is there in fairly good condition with the kitchen there. As you recall, when I brought this project forth to the commission a couple of years ago, we negotiated a really good price for the school that was there, tore the school down at our expense, turned around and divided that project up into the project that Macon Housing Authority Pleasant Hill LP has received the awarded grant for the housing part of it. In return, they purchased that property from us that we're going to use to renovate this property here, as well as eliminating some blight around those areas there. Our hope is to have some commercial in the bottom floor on the Walnut Street side, commercially developed space there to have hopefully local residents in the area to be able to open up a business there, and also have 64 residents there that are income-based and very affordable. But as you can tell, that's not your traditional apartments there. Those are very nice, loft-looking apartments for there, which at the same time will help hopefully funnel children into the school there at L.H. Williams to make sure it maintains its viability there. So all that is together, and of course there's the park right behind there that you're familiar with on the Riverside Drive, but this is part of the whole process. They'll begin work this year on the project. This is just kind of one of the last financial stacks to get them over the hill on that. They've also received some funding from the Macon-Bibb County Affordable Housing Fund, as well as going through the whole process with DCA to get awarded. This is one of the few projects that were awarded, and it was awarded based on the quality of the project that we have here in Pleasant Hill. So that's pretty much the explanation of the use there. We've got 5 lights on, so I'm going to hit those in order I remember them coming up, and I think Commissioner Bronson, you were first.
Hey, just want to make sure that state that was added for co-sponsor as well on this end. Great work. Thank you so much on this end. I have to ask 2 things. One, how soon are we possibly looking at starting on this project? And then the second part is, that's most importantly, right, is ensuring that we have input from the residents that reside in Pleasant Hill. I want to make sure that that they need to have a seat at the table when it boils down to the design or the layout, and ensure that we preserve the history of Pleasant Hill. I'm sure that Mayor Pro Tem himself can account to that as well, that we ensure that happens.
Yes, well, timing-wise, it's actually just around the corner. This was one of the final pieces that we needed to get things moving, and we're already have an investor selected, lenders lined up, so it's a matter of going through the due diligence process, of which we've been doing for the last couple of months. So we anticipate possibly late January, definitely no later than February.
Okay. And as far as engagement, there had been meetings at the place, at the location with local residents there. There's been tours, the 2 properties there. Of course, many of them came. Some of them spoke at the initial press conference we had on this. And then Mr. Battle, who many of you may be familiar with, that works in conjunction with our office that we hired to do all those types of programs, will be working hand in hand with the neighborhood there, including how we restore those 2 properties that are there, what kind of historical significance they want to focus on there, the naming, the architecture, et cetera, on there. So that's part of it. But we're probably 2/3 away from getting this project started and complete on there. We do expect it to move pretty rapidly once they start to go up on that. Okay. We just got to get this financial stack out of the way.
Thank you so much.
Commissioner Wynn, I had you second.
Just had the same question about those 2 buildings. That was answered, but I also want to be added a co-sponsor.
We got you. Commissioner Stewart?
Mike, Kathleen, thank you all for being here. That property means a lot to me. My mom went to Green Street School, which was on that property back in the 1940s. I know this is a partnership between Macon-Bibb, Macon Housing Authority, and the private developer, correct? Those tax credits, who is the private developer in this?
So it's actually Infill, which is a subsidiary of the Housing Authority, and that's Kathleen. I'm sorry I didn't introduce Kathleen. She's our developer.
Okay.
So there'll also be investors, big investors, usually on the tax credits, a state and a federal investor, and that's pretty typical for tax credits.
So basically, you all will be, the Macon Housing Authority is managing the residential component of it.
Correct.
And infill is the,
Developing.
okay, all right, okay,
We'll keep it in the family, and we will own and operate it forever.
okay.
Commissioner Bailey?
And thank you as well. It is so very refreshing to see those nifty 50 structures moved on and replaced with this energy efficient structure that's going to actually add to our skyline and then provide the opportunities for business to come in and then for our families to have the space as well that they deserve living in our neighborhoods. My District 9 is so very, very close to this area. I just want to make sure that I'm a co-sponsor at this as well,
Okay,
Mayor
we'll put you
Miller. And thank you. Thank you for all that you do to help the citizens here in Macon.
Appreciate that. Commissioner Bryant? Did you have a follow-up, ma'am?
I did.
Somebody answer your
But,
question.
how many units will be affordable housing, and are any of the units gonna be market rate?
Thank you. 64 units that are all affordable.
All of them?
That's your question? Okay.
The reason I'm glad she asked that question, and I realize the answer to that question. But, you know, you got some houses right now, and as the mayor alluded to, we got to make sure we increase the population so we can save L.H. Williams long term. But there's some houses in Pleasant Hill right now, $120,000. When people say affordable, the question then becomes affordable to who? And so therefore, I'm glad you asked that question, Commissioner Bryant, because, you know, to say that it's affordable, we want to make sure it's affordable to those individuals, as Commissioner Bronson pointed out, who are really in that area right now as well.
Yeah, so as I said, it's income restricted, so we'll be looking at your income to qualify, and you can't make too much money. So when I gave the example, you go all the way down to $16,000 for one person, all the way up to a family of four, making $61,000. But the rents are going to be very affordable. The vast majority of rents will be less than $1,000.
Okay. Appreciate that. I'll make that motion. Got a Mayor Pro Tem. We got a second. Any further questions? All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed, nay. That motion carries to be sent to consent agenda. Our last item on this agenda is item F, which is, and thank you for being here tonight, Mike, Kathleen. Item F is a resolution of the Macon-Bibb County Commission authorizing the acceptance of the 2026 grant from the Governor's Office of Highway Safety in amount of $211,425.74 with no local match required to be used by the Macon Judicial District Attorney's Office to implement the Pedestrian Awareness and Understanding Safety Education called PAUSE, P-A-U-S-E, program. So this time we entertain a motion to approve accepting those funds. Okay, you heard that motion. Got a second? I knew you were going to try that one. Got a motion and a second. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed, nay. That motion carries and will be sent to the consent agenda. Ladies and gentlemen, we do have a need to go into executive session for the purpose of consultation with attorney or other legal counsel to discuss pending or potential litigation, settlement of claims, administrative proceedings, or other judicial actions brought forth by Macon-Bibb County or against. At this time, we entertain a motion to go into executive session. We got a motion by Commissioner Stewart, second by Commissioner Bronson. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed, nay. That motion carries. We're now in executive session. Can I get a motion to come out of executive session? Motion by Commissioner Stewart, second by Commissioner Wilder. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed, nay. We're now out of executive session. Ladies and gentlemen, we just finished up our committee of a whole meeting, which we handle several items, and we're going to adjourn this meeting here in just a second and begin our regularly scheduled meeting at 6 o'clock. So we still have another minute so we can get everybody in their places. But this commission meeting, committee of the whole, is hereby adjourned. Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to welcome everyone here to the Board of Commissioners regularly scheduled meeting at City Hall. Today is Tuesday, December the 16th, 2025, and the time now is 6 o'clock. We'd like to begin our meeting like we always do with a call to order. First will be the prayer, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. So we'd like to ask everyone that can and will please stand up and bow your head for the prayer. The prayer tonight will be led by Pastor D'Amica Pinckney from Hope of the Heart of Georgia. And Pastor, we'd ask you to go over to the microphone there, speak into that microphone, and immediately following the prayer, we'll have the Pledge of Allegiance.
Everyone will bow their heads. Dear Heavenly Father, we come before you this evening, first and foremost, telling you thank you. Telling you thank you that you have allowed us to gather ourselves together once again. Telling you thank you for our Mayor, Lester Miller, and each and every commissioner that holds a seat, and telling you thank you for the citizens of Macon. We tell you thank you right now for giving us this opportunity to come together and reason together. And as we pray now, I lift up this meeting unto you, oh God, that you would guide each and every decision, guide each and every agenda, guide each and everything that will take place on tonight. And we tell you thank you for this great city. We tell you thank you for Hope for the Heart of Georgia, and that Macon is the heart for Georgia. And we tell you thank you for it, and we tell you thank you for each and every great citizen, oh God. In the mighty name of Jesus, we pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Here you go. We do have two presentations tonight. That's why we have many people in the room. I'd like to welcome everyone here and wish you, first of all, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. We want to get started right away with a presentation, a proclamation honoring my good friend, Mr. George McCandless, who is here today on his retirement as the CEO of the United Way of Central Georgia. I'll step down in just a moment to do that. We also are going to be honoring our national AAU National Football Championships, and we have many of those young people here today that we'll be honoring by way of certificate. And at that time, when I get to that point, we'll call the coach up to call out each player one by one that may be here. So right now, I'm going to step out of my place, and I'm going to step down to the podium so I can read the proclamation and presentation honoring our good friend, Mr. George McCandless, as he enjoys his retirement as CEO of the United Way of Macon. Mr. McCandless, if you don't mind, I'm going to ask you to come up front. We'll make you stand there for a while I read your accolades real quick. So, sure it won't be the last time we recognize you, but it's my pleasure to do so today. This is the proclamation, Office of the Mayor of Macon-Bibb County, Georgia. Whereas on behalf of Macon-Bibb County, congratulations are in order to George McCandless on his retirement, who has served as President and CEO of the United Way of Central Georgia from 2013 to 2025. And whereas George McCandless transformed United Way of Central Georgia into an issue-focused organization centered on helping ALICE, which is Asset, Limited Income, Constrained Employed, families achieve financial stability and build innovative fundraising partnerships, including the annual United Way Auto Raffle, a unique collaboration with local automotive dealers generating substantial unrestricted revenue. And whereas George implemented the First Steps in Parents as Teachers programs, providing critical early support to new parents and earning repeated Blue Ribbon affiliate status for program excellence, and launched the Read United program, which has helped more than 6,000 kindergartens through third grade students strengthen their reading skills and has improved reading outcomes for thousands of elementary students and expanded multiple school districts. And whereas George strengthened the partnerships with Mercer University, local school systems, Rotary clubs, and faith-based organizations to expand program reach and impact, partnered with Macon-Bibb County to operate the Brookdale Resource Center, a comprehensive shelter and housing program for individuals and families experiencing homelessness. And whereas since 2013, George McCandless has led the United Way Macon's branch, raising $70 million to support the organization's mission, doubling the organization's annual revenue, fighting poverty, and addressing the root causes of problems in our community. Now, therefore, I, Lester M. Miller, do hereby proclaim December 16, 2025 as George McCandless Day in Macon-Bibb County, and I urge all citizens to extend congratulations to him on his retirement and thank him for his leadership milestones as President and CEO of the United Way of Central Georgia. In witness whereof I have hereto set my hand and caused the seal of the consolidated government to be affixed the 16th day of December 2025, signed by myself, Lester M. Miller, Mayor of Macon-Bibb County.
Well, thank you, Mayor, and all the members of the commission. Yeah, I'm one of those that believes that any success I had is more of a shared success with the folks I work with, you know, the partners, our public servants, the community that supports what we do. I was brought down here today under false pretenses. I was told I had a meeting with the mayor, and I wasn't sure exactly what that was going to be about since it was so late. So I'm sure on the way home I'm going to come up with something really eloquent that I should have said here. But just let me say, I wasn't born in Macon, but it's certainly, you know, the area I call home now. And I've lived here longer than anywhere I've lived in my adult life. And one of the things that, you know, I really enjoyed in my two jobs here, before United Way was at the Telegraph. I mean, two great institutions. At least the Telegraph was when I was there many years ago. And being able to work with people like y'all in the community. And the mayor mentioned Brookdale Resource Center. And I would be remiss if I didn't say something about that. Brookdale is way more than a project. It's a testament to the commitment to help those that are often overlooked in our community. And I personally and our organization has been proud to be a partner with that. And, you know, leadership is one thing, but when you combine leadership with compassion, you can do incredible things. And so I know the mayor started it, but we wouldn't have been able to do what we have done without the support of all of you. And I hope y'all all take ownership and pride in what's going on at Brookdale. It's things like that. As I said, this is home now, that makes me proud to call Macon home. So again, I've never had anything quite like this before, and I guess I'm just very appreciative and thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate you coming here tonight, even under false pretenses. But that's right. You had a meeting. I think they told you just right. I hope they didn't tell you you're gonna get no check, because you're not getting a check tonight. But we appreciate you being here. We appreciate you being a great partner to Brookdale Resource Center, and you may never know all the lives that you touched through your involvement with that. But we'll all get our rewards one day in heaven. So I appreciate you being here tonight, and thank you for your service. And I wish you well in your retirement. But I know you, like most people, nobody really retires. They go on to do something else they enjoy maybe doing for another little while. But we appreciate you being here, and I certainly appreciate your service to our community. So we have another recognition tonight. We've got some young folks we need to recognize tonight, and we have some certificates. I'm not sure if any commissioners want to help participate in giving out these certificates as well, but I would like to bring down the Georgia Thunder Elite 6U AA National Championship coaches. If you don't mind coming down to the podium. If you got a representative with mind going to the microphone, I'm going to give you the list if you don't have one, so you can identify all your players and by name, and we'll call them down and give certificates. And Commissioners Bailey and Bryant, would you mind helping distribute these out?
These are for the coaches.
Okay.
And these are for the players.
Oh, we got multiple. So apparently we have multiple groups tonight. So we got 6, 8, and 9-year-olds. So we've got each coaches broken down separately as well as the players. And we'll ask the coaches to take control of this, and each one of them has the packages for you. So if you want to do that, we'll recognize the coaches first. And we've got that list there for you. Commissioner Howell has that list, I believe. The white sheet of paper on your hand. Here you go.
Yeah, I got the list.
You got it? Okay. We'll let you begin. Anything you want to say ahead of time, certainly you can do so. First of all, before we can get started, let's give these young people a hand.
Hey everybody, how y'all doing?
Doing good.
My name is DeMarcus Wimberly, one of the 6U coaches. I'm gonna start by calling out the 6U coaches, and then we'll call the 8U coaches up and the 9U coaches up as well. First, I want to start with the head of the organization, Mr. Derek Williams. Next, Mr. Christopher Ross. He's not here right now, but Tarnez McCoy. Myself, DeMarcus Wimberly. Mr. Rufus Smith. Wilson, I'm sorry. Mr. Fabian Hood. Randall Williams in his absence. Chad Williams. And we got an awesome female in the lineup, Miss Celeste Williams. Next, I'm gonna call out the 8U coaches. Starting with Mr. Danny Madison. Mr. Darius Brown. Mr. Nick Horge. Mr. Jalen Granville. And Mr. Charles Adelaide. the 9U coaches. Jalen Granville. Now I'm going to call out the 9U coaches. First, I'm going to start with Mr. Kevin Adside. Mr. Robert Dollar. Michael May. Damon Solomon. Jarvis Berrien. Javaris West. And Mr. Jarvis Cotton.
And now, it gives us great pleasure to make the following awards to the players. And our first player for tonight is Chandler White. Please come up. Chandler. All right. Okay. Okay. Grace Jace Grayer. All right. Jeremy Ross III. Come on, Jeremy. Isaiah Smith. Isaiah. Trayvon Jackson. Okay. Apollo Hood. Yes. Come on, Apollo. Austin Durham. Okay. Caden Howard. Caden Ross. Joshua Hall. Okay. Darius Johnson. Noah Jelks. Okay. And Christina Glover. Christina. Christian.
Christian Glover. Okay, Christian. Number 22. Okay, and Tristan Bonner. Tanner Williams. Keenan Roberts. Carter Zeliner. Okay. And the coaches. Okay.
Zelna.
Okay. That's it.
Carter Zelna.
Mm-hmm. And now for the coaches. And those are our players. Let's all give them all a hand.
Y'all gonna do the next. Y'all gonna do the next. Yes. All right, Danny. Talking about you, man. For the next group will be Georgia Thunder Elite. That'll be 8 AAU national runner-ups. First one, Kingston Adside. Jacoby Walker. Prince Horge. Cassine Jackson. Aiden Perkins. JaVale Stevens. Tristan Johnson. Isaiah Carter. Kamani Tyler. DeVale Hubbard. Nasir Holmes. Aston Carswell. Mr. King Jackson. Jeremiah King. Tony Whitehead. DeQuavius Early. Deshaun Bolden. And last but not least, Mr. Jermaine Reynolds. Here you go. No. The next will be 9U. I'll start it off. National championship. So everybody give them a hand. Great accomplishment, guys. Everybody did good, and I'm proud of you all. We're proud of you all. When we call your name, please come down. Give us your best spirit for winning this championship. Mr. Jamal West. Come on, Jamal, give me something. Travion Sneed. Jarvis Berrien. Desmond Solomon Jr. Hank Dollar. Tavares Cotton. Tristan Mays. What you got, Tristan? What you got? Jasper Jordan. Tristan Jackson.
Nicholas Hardish Jr. Okay. Curtis Barnes III. Okay. Cameron Knight. Okay. All right, Caden. Jaden Lewis. Angle. Legend Angle. All right. Kenton Moore. Woo! Kenton. Okay. Blake Durham. And those are our 9th under AAU national champions. Okay. And we have one more, Gabriel Collins. Yes, give him a hand.
Congratulations once again. Give everybody a hand. I'd like to thank everyone for coming and participating tonight. We have some rest of our meeting, but I'm going to give you a few minutes to go ahead and walk out if you need to leave before we continue our meeting, so we can do that in good time. See you, brother. Appreciate you. Okay, we're going to move on. There's no public comments on agenda items for anyone in the room that I'm aware of. Going to move on to the approval of the minutes. The approval of the minutes, item 6A, is the minutes from December 2nd, 2025, regular commission meeting. Can I get a motion to approve? Got a motion? I have a second. Got a motion and a second. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Opposed, nay. That motion carries. We do have a consent agenda. We're going to do items A through U with the exception of L, so we'll do that, unless and except L. So items A through U, I'll call for a motion to approve. Got a motion? Do I get a second? Got a motion and a second. All those in favor of the consent agenda as published, items A through U, with the exception of item L that we'll vote on separately. Okay. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye. Opposed, nay. That motion carries unanimously. We're going to discuss item L to make sure we got further clarification. This is a resolution of the Macon-Bibb County Commission authorizing the mayor to execute a construction manager at risk agreement with Warren Associates for the expansion and upgrade of the Law Enforcement Center, subject to further approval upon finalization of cost of construction for a pre-construction cost of $17,500 and construction management fee of 1.74% of the cost of construction to be paid from the 2025 SPLOST Fund Public Safety Sheriff Buildings line items. At this time, I entertain a motion to approve. A motion by Commissioner Bowe. We have a second. Second by Commissioner Wynn. And
Sir.
Commissioner Bronson, you have comments, sir.
Hey, so earlier we discussed this, and I wanted to make sure there was some confusion as far as possible conflict of interest, and just kind of wanting to ensure, could we get some clarification on that piece to ensure that this is not conflict of interest, one, and then two, the work that's being put in for this particular notion is meeting the standards of what we're trying to get done at the jail.
I can answer one.
The
There's
workload, pretty
There's no legal or ethical conflict of interest based upon Warren Selby's association with the Crime Stoppers.
Okay. And then as far as the work that's being taken care of in this particular deal, this payment is doing what during that time frame?
Ms. Davis, if you don't mind coming up again. Just address the $17,500 pre-construction costs.
Absolutely. Pre-construction services is what we're paying Warren Associates for up front. That gets us from right now when we hire him until the day he gets us a final cost of construction. So that's going to be him being in the building and working with the architects to come up with that finalized price.
Okay, and in this ordeal here, or I know mentioned earlier, having police officers, will there be any involvement from any law enforcement personnel that may be on grounds outside of our chief personnel there?
It'd be the sheriff and his staff as far as that's concerned, and experts on behalf of Mr. Warren Associates.
Okay.
I do want to add, we also have an outside architectural team that is designing this and is already working on this project as well.
Okay, so this is basically just paying him to come in, get eyes on the situation, and then from there, someone will be contracted out to actually do the work themselves. So we're
He
not.
would be contracted out to do the work. He is the chosen construction manager at risk. This is the pre-construction that will determine what the cost is going to be, and then we'll formulate a contract for the exact cost that would be brought back before this commission to vote on.
Got it. Thank you for the clarification.
Commissioner Stewart?
Got
Mr.
it.
Stewart?
Yeah. No, I just wanted to make sure I go on the record as I did in pre-commission, the same as in commission. There again, it's nothing against Warren. I think Warren is a very good guy, and but therefore, I've seen in the past issues of conflict of interest arise in various situations. I know you all say it's not a legal conflict of interest, but people have been dragged through the mud for far less than that. And so therefore, I still want to go on record, and I definitely would vote nay on this as well.
Yes, sir. Commissioner Bryant?
Just to piggyback off of what I said, I have nothing against Selby and Warren, nothing personal, but I would like to see that once we put money into this jail, that it's something that's going to be sufficient, that's going to withstand, that's going to just be there and we don't have to do it 3 years later, the same thing again. So as I said, prior to this meeting, I wish we could have gotten I wish we could have took a field trip to somewhere where they built a prison or a jail that, even Houston County, they have a great jail that has withstood the time. And I'm not saying nothing against them, but I would like for somebody that knows what they're doing with every part of that jail, from the structure to the lighting to the control booths, to the windows, to the control panels, the locks, and everything that they have. I would love for them to show us, even if we got if they came in here and gave us a model of a lock and see if we could test it or give it to the inmates, see if they could tear it up, something, so that we're not spending more money again to do the same thing that we just did this year. Next year, whenever they do it. So we're gonna do it a couple of years from now.
Thank you, Mr. Bryant. Commissioner Bronson?
Just out of curiosity, to Commissioner Bryant's point on this end, so having a better understanding now and clarification of what we're voting on, I understand the process of that piece of it. However, I will ask, in that discussion, is there room for us as commissioners, or is there room for the sheriff to come out and say, hey, part of the agreement in this ordeal is that we identify, or we get a chance to kind of see what their proposed projections of mechanism used to secure the jail? Is that a reasonable?
Well, the architects are going to draw the plans, and the builder is just putting the rector set together. But we can have the sheriff here when we get the final cost from Warner Associates to be here at the final voting time to answer whatever questions you may have for them.
Sounds good to me.
Okay.
Thank
This
you.
time we have a motion and a second. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor of item L to fund the construction of the jail, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Okay, motion carries 6-2 with Commissioner Stewart and Commissioner Bryant voting against. Ladies and gentlemen, this does conclude. Actually, we have one more. My bad. We have a non-agenda item, and I can't overlook my good friend, Mr. Richardson. Thank you for being here again today, sir. Your podium is right there beside